So like I'm Ashley Reardon, and I work with this ground-based phenotyping robot. So I'm part. Yeah. So a few of you said you had experience scouting fields, and Matt mentioned that he had, I think it was around 1,000 plots, and it took like 5 hours for him to rate. So there's many other traits you might be interested in besides like disease. So can you guys think of maybe like other traits that might be of interest besides disease, like in soybeans maybe?
Your soil conditions.
Soil.
Trusting, or how much water you get in and how easy the plants are.
Okay.
How well they're working.
Okay. Any other trait? I'm thinking like soil conditions, that's pretty good. That might be more of Clayton's area with some roots, which we'll get to. I'm thinking more of like maybe plant height, pod height, length of pods, number of pods, different things like that. So some of those things you can't record those from in the air with the drone. So that's something you need to be down on the ground for and under the canopy. And so I go out to a field, and if I need to like determine the height, and I have 900 plots in 2 different locations, that takes me probably about like 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Because you can't just measure one plant and be like, oh, that's good. You have to measure several plants to get an average. So one benefit of using ground-based phenotyping is you can drive this through the field, and it might take the similar amount of time depending on how fast you can go. But I can drive it through the field once, and I can get height, I could get number of pods, I could get pod height, all from driving it through the field once, versus if I was to do it manually, I'd probably have to go through the field 3 times to get each of those traits, because I'm probably going to record one trait at a time. So using this helps me collect a lot more data a lot more quickly. So it's, again, a time-saving tool that we can use. And we can it has 3 cameras on it, actually 4 cameras. You can take cameras, and a video is essentially a collection of images, and you can take the images and you can process those to get your traits out. And we can also use tools like the LiDAR, which is light detection and ranging. And so it basically makes a 3D point map, and it allows the vehicle to either it helps with plant height or leaf area index, but it also helps it drive autonomously down the road. So I can stand at the end of a row, and I can tell it to drive, and it can drive down the row by itself. So looking into the future, it'd be really nice if you could have like a small army of them at a farm, and you can just have it go through the field, and it can tell you like these plots need attention, there's like weeds here and things like that, or like maybe you need maybe you have some IDC, so you need to spray the field with some nitrogen. So having something on the ground can help you identify things under the canopy or lower to the ground that you might not get with a drone. And it also has higher resolution for like leaves, like Matt mentioned. You can see the diseases on the top leaves, but if you have symptoms down underneath the canopy, then that's something you're probably going to need something like this for. Trying to think of anything else. So I can show you guys my little drone here. So it has a camera on the front, it has a camera on the top, and then it has 2 cameras on the side. And you can change the angle of the camera. It doesn't drive too hot on cement, it's meant for dirt. And then the cameras also have LEDs on them, because have any of you ever been in a soybean field? Yeah? When you get canopy closure, it gets a little darker underneath. So you turn on the LEDs so that your images are nice and clear. And then we also have, this is a GPS module, which can help with locating like where was this image taken in the field, so you can identify plots. And then on my screen, I can actually see what each camera is seeing. So I can tell it to start recording data, and it records all 4 of the videos from the top camera and the 3 side cameras. And then it also records the LiDAR data, and you can take that data to get your 3D point map, so that you can maybe, like in corn, you could do plant height. You could probably do it for soybeans too. And there's some pipelines already in place for the information we get from this, but some of the information we have to make our own pipelines for. So it's kind of just, it's a fast way that I can go through my field and collect lots of different traits versus me spending, like right now, I don't have a pipeline for a couple traits that I have to record. So I'm out in the field 4 days a week because I have 2 different fields for about 4 to 5 hours trying to record traits. So if I could develop a pipeline that this could do it for me, I could drive the field once and get all that data a lot more quickly. You guys have any questions about the drone or phenotyping? No? Yeah. So I'm a first-year student, and I'm in the predictive plant phenomics group like Matt. And in January, I started building a rover out of poster board and Arduinos. If you guys don't know what an Arduino is, it's basically just like a small little computer board. You put code on it, and you can tell it to like run motors and stuff. I've never taken an engineering course in my life. Never. Never in my life have I taken an engineering course. And I was able to take poster board and some Arduinos and make a little rover, and I was able to make like a remote controlled one. And the idea behind it was I was working on the rover, and I had a data scientist who was working on setting up sensors and stuff that we could put on the rover. So it was like this, but I made it myself and much cheaply. And I made it for a conference. So we took it to a conference, and I got to meet with engineers, and they were so excited to see like plant people. They're like, plant people like technology? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And we're like, yes, we love technology. Like, if I don't have to spend all day scouting my whole field, that would be amazing. Because then I have other things I could go to do. So I got to go to a conference and show them that. And then here I am, probably less than 6 months later, and I have this awesome robot that already has pipelines for some of the stuff, and it's definitely not poster board. It can definitely drive through a field. So it's really cool how, in like a matter of 6 months' time, just like I could go from trying to make my own rover to working with one, and this is not the only rover that works for the field. There's also a rover here that was made at Iowa State. This was not. There's a rover that was made at Iowa State called the Phenobot, and it has a mast, and I think it's mainly designed for maize, if I remember right. It has a mast and it has a camera that can move up and down, so they can actually do a 3D map of a corn plant, which is pretty cool. You can extract a lot of traits from that, like leaf angle. This thing?
Would you turn that screen?
Oh. Yeah, let me. So I'm looking at all 4 cameras right now. You can set it so you only see one camera. But that way you can kind of check. You're like, do I have the right camera angle? Like, can I see what I would like to see? Or like, do I need to change camera angle? Do I need to turn my LEDs on? Do I need to turn them off? So it has a lot of capabilities, and we can also integrate other sensors into it, kind of like what Sarah has. So that we can record more than just video. Maybe we could do hyperspec or multi-spec. Any?
Using the term pipeline, will you explain that term?
What term?
The pipeline, you keep using the word pipeline.
Oh, pipeline. Okay, so the pipeline is basically I drive my rover through the field, and then I can go back to my office, plug it in, pull my data off, and then I work with like data scientists and engineers, and they help me develop code that you can run the video through, and it's complicated. I don't even fully understand it sometimes, but like say you want plant height, you can teach a machine to look at a picture and extract from the picture, like this is how tall the plant is, and then it just outputs that data. So that's the pipeline, is recording the video all the way to getting the details and the traits that you want. Yeah.
So is there one thing that rover won't do that you would like it to do?
It's not waterproof. I would very much like it to be waterproof. That'd be great.
Do you have to wait until beans are dry or something? Send it out?
I don't know if morning dew affects it, but I don't really want to chance it. It's not a cheap toy. It'd be nice if it was cheaper because, like I said, if you could have an army of them in your field, that'd be fantastic. But at the price it is, it's probably not something someone's going to buy an army of.
It will reduce eventually.
Yeah, the more.
Price keeps going down.
Yeah, because from a startup company, so they're starting. They have to charge a little more so that they can keep going. But if you can if you can sell a lot of them, you can bring down the price, you know.
What's the price of that one? Is there a reliable one?
The price of this one, it's $15,000.
15?
Yeah. It's got like 2 LiDARs on it, GPS, 4 cameras. Drives by itself.